All right, so picture this. FuboTV has just pulled off this massive combination with Hulu's live TV business. And just days later, the leadership team has to get on a call and face Wall Street. This was the very first chance for analysts to really grill them on the new game plan. Yeah, this wasn't just your average run-of-the-mill earnings call. This was the world's first real look under the hood of a brand new streaming powerhouse, one with nearly 6 million subscribers. So you can bet the questions were sharp, the stakes were incredibly high, and the answers, well, the answers laid out a fascinating blueprint for the future of live TV. So you can imagine the first big question on every single analyst's mind was a strategic one, right? You've got FuboTV, the service for sports fanatics, and then you have Hulu Live, the general entertainment giant. How in the world do these two distinct brands live together without just eating each other's lunch? Well, CEO David Gandler jumped right on this and drew a really clear line in the sand. He positioned FuboTV as the super-targeted sports-first platform, the one built with special features just for fans. Hulu Live, on the other hand, is the big, broad, general entertainment bundle that, also has sports. They're going after two totally different customers. And this, right here, this is the secret sauce to the whole deal. Gandler pointed out that it's incredibly rare for two companies to merge and have almost zero customer overlap. So instead of fighting for the same subscribers, they can now cover a way bigger slice of the market, giving people a lot more choice and flexibility. Okay, so that's the setup. But what's really fascinating is how this new company actually plans to grow. The Q&A session revealed this surprisingly efficient growth engine that's already, firing on all cylinders. Let's just start with this number. In a quarter that was fiercely competitive, FuboTV somehow managed to boost its net subscriber additions by a whopping 68% compared to last year. I mean, that's impressive all by itself. But here's the kicker. They did all that. They achieved that massive growth while cutting their marketing spend as a percentage of revenue by 21%. So the big question is, how on earth did they pull that off? Well, it wasn't some magic bullet. It was a combination of really smart tactics. They've rolled out more packages at different prices, like that new skinny bundle. They're using AI to figure out the best ads and where to place them. And they've just been incredibly disciplined about how much they're willing to pay for a new customer, staying way below their targets. Okay, but it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. The analysts were quick to zoom in on the advertising revenue, which was actually down year over year. The CEO admitted it, calling it a minor blemish, but then he reframed it as a huge opportunity for the future. And the reason for that dip was pretty simple, really. A little while back, the company had dropped some ad-heavy channels, like Univision, from the platform. So that just created a tough year-over-year comparison. It was a known issue, a temporary thing. But this is where Gandler just masterfully flips the script. He basically said that any of those past ad issues are a high-class problem compared to the absolute firepower they have now that they're combined with Hulu and, by extension, Disney. And here it is, the new game plan in action. From now on, Disney is going to handle all of FuboTV's ad sales. Think about it. They're going to plug FuboTV's super engaged, sports-loving audience into Disney's gigantic advertising machine. They expect that to lead to a serious lift in ad rates and, of course, a lot more revenue. All right, now this brings us to what was, for me, the absolute pivotal moment of the call. This is where one analyst basically threw down the gauntlet and directly challenged FuboTV's real influence in this new, much bigger company. And the question was blunt. I mean, no pulling punches. With Hulu Live bringing around 4 million subscribers to the table and FuboTV bringing 1.6 million, the analyst asked, isn't Hulu the big dog here, just wagging the much smaller FuboTV tail? In other words, who's really calling the shots? And Gandler's response? Man, it was so direct, so powerful. He just threw that dog and tail idea out the window and declared, this is no longer a fairy tale. He made it crystal clear that FuboTV isn't just along for the ride. It's going to be a primary growth engine for the entire company. And he didn't just say it, he backed it up with a crystal clear 4-point plan. 1. Tap into ESPN's massive audience. We're talking over 100 million users to get subscribers more efficiently. 2. The big ad revenue lift we just talked about. 3. Get way more leverage when negotiating for content, now that they're the second biggest player in the game. And 4. Use their combined tech to go global, side by side with Disney+. So you've got this huge, bold vision, right? But the analysts are still thinking, okay, that's great, but show me the money. How does all of this actually turn into real sustainable profit? Well, the company has a number, a very clear target in mind, a 30% gross margin. Right now, they're sitting at about 20%, so they've got a 10-point gap they need to close.
So you're probably asking, how are they going to get there? Well, they've actually broken it down pretty clearly. They expect to gain about 3 percentage points from getting better deals on programming, another 3 points from that ad uplift with Disney, and the rest from just general cost savings and being more efficient. The math is right there for everyone to see.
And believe it or not, the vision doesn't even stop at the US border. The final round of questions really pushed the company on its long-term global plans, which are now completely supercharged by this Disney partnership. The strategy is simple, but it's huge. They're going to piggyback on Disney's massive international subscriber base. FuBo will provide the local live TV programming in key places, starting with countries like France, and then bundle it right into Disney's streaming services. And they're planning to get that ball rolling within the next 2 years. And honestly, this final quote from the CEO just says it all. The scale of their ambition is absolutely massive. This merger with Hulu Lives wasn't the end goal. It was just the launchpad for a much, much bigger global vision. So, FuBo's leadership, they painted this really compelling picture of a company that's ready to punch way above its weight, using its new scale to drive growth, profits, and global expansion. The strategy is clear, the partners are in place, but the big question remains, in a world with absolute giants like Netflix and YouTube TV, can this new combined force really turn their ambitious fairy tale into a market-dominating reality?